Chris, I want to ask you about you being a finalist for the Rivalry Award. Just what does that mean to you to have that kind of attention for your play this year?
It's definitely an honor just to be mentioned with the rest of the players that are up for the award as well. You know, I put in a lot of work to be able to get here, and I know I got to be able to continue to put in that same groundwork. And, you know, I just got here by the grace of God with the help of the rest of my teammates and my coaches, man. They put a lot into me, man. And like I said, it's just definitely an honor.
Chris, I guess first clarifying question. First clarifying question: is this your last year of eligibility? Are you looking to go into the draft after this, or?
No, it's not my last year of eligibility, and I'll talk about my process of what I'm looking to do after the season.
So obviously 5 years here. Can you talk about kind of your experiences here and how much you've learned about yourself and about the program since joining Georgia?
Well, number one, 10 out of 10 experience, man. I done had a hell of an experience here. Built a lot of connections with a lot of coaches and players, and just learned a lot about myself as a man. You know, I mean, I even grew into a man while I was here. You know, everybody when you're 18, you feel like you're a man, but you don't really realize till about 4 or 5 years later you were just beginning to become a man. So that's pretty much a whole synopsis of my time and my experience here.
It's obviously a senior day on Saturday, and you're the senior that mentors a lot of young safeties. You probably mentor Malachi and Ja'Cory and all them. When you came in as a freshman, who was the senior upperclassman that was your biggest mentor, and what did you learn?
Yeah, J.R. Reed for sure, and Tyreek McGee. Just like I used to see how hard those guys used to work, and I just used to, you know, I used to watch them very close in practice, and I used to ask a lot of questions from them, especially J.R. J.R. one of the smartest players I ever played with to this day. And he just poured so much into me, and just a lot of stuff he used to tell me back then I didn't kind of understand till like about 2 or 3 years later when he was gone. And I just used that and applied to my game today. You know, I try to, you know, my boys, Ja'Cory, Malachi, David Daniel, Dan, all the safeties, really all the DBs, I just try to pour that into them.
Chris, it was this time a year ago you weren't doing so well. I think you were banged up and missed all that. How bad can you look back on that? You know, because obviously you're going into a much different stretch, feeling a lot different this year. Can you look back on how frustrating it was at that time of year, what you guys were trying to accomplish, how much pain you were in? What was that like for you?
It was definitely frustrating, but like you say, Mr. Ron and the rest of the athletic training staff, they did a lot of work with me, and I was able to still go out there and perform at a high level. But like you say, anytime you're dealing with an injury, it's definitely frustrating. But you know, you just got to keep your head down and stay motivated.
You talk about mentoring some of the defensive players, but Broderick talked a bit about you also having a strong relationship with some offensive players as well. Can you talk about a couple offensive players you have a strong relationship with and how you built that connection with them?
Yeah, it's really a lot of them. Me and Brian got a good relationship. Me and Kenny, me and Stetson, me and my boy Jackson Meeks, Kieris. The list goes on and on. You know, and that just comes with a part of being a part of a great team like we have here, and the connection that we want to build. That's one of our pillars, and you know, I'm very grateful for those guys on the offensive side of the ball. On special teams players as well, I got a good relationship with some of them, and you know, it's very tight with guys on the defensive side of the ball. So that just all plays into the connection that we have as a team and the love that we have for each other.
You got one more win, and you guys are the winningest senior class in the history of Georgia football.
Yeah.
I just wonder if that's noted somewhere. I mean, is that something you guys have kept up with, and is that a point of pride?
Yeah.
You also haven't lost to Tech, if I'm not mistaken. And how important is that, being an Atlanta guy heading into this game?
Well, yeah. Around this time every year, we always get close to that record of, you know, senior classes being able to break the record of wins. So it's definitely some that we have in our mind, as well as playing Georgia Tech. You know, it's a big rivalry for us. Got a lot of history between the two teams over the years, and you know, we definitely want to be able to go out and get a win for our team, our seniors, be able to honor our coaches. We got a lot of coaches that used to play in this rivalry as well, and it means a lot to them. So it means a lot to be able to get a win for everybody.
Yeah, Kirby mentioned that when you were younger, you tried to fight other players because they weren't playing up to, or they weren't, you know, taking care of business in the classroom, taking care of business on the practice field. One, did you win a lot of those fights? And two, what does it say about you that you're so passionate and you're just trying to get the most out of your team and the most out of your teammates to get to where ultimately you want to go?
Well, I ain't gonna speak on the results, but you know, that just come with the game, man. You know, it's a lot of passion between both sides, and you know, that just come with the game, like I said. And you know, that's what happens when you want your brother to succeed, as well as people have pushed me to want to succeed as well. So you know, like I say, man, it just come with the game, man. And I mean, you probably won't be at a program where you won't see a fight or two. So you know, it just come with it.
Sort of to that point, Chris, Kirby really harped on how much you've grown, how much you've matured. Just what has that process been like for you, and things like being a vocal leader, was that something that came natural or just something you kind of had to grow into?
Well, let's just go back to the question my man said, just like my experiences here. Like a lot of guys, when they first get here, you feel like you got it all figured out, but you really don't. You just getting started. So you know, just every year I've been here, I've been able to build on my experiences and be able to learn from them. And what was the second part of the question?
Yeah, just growing as a leader, if that was natural or something.
Yeah.
Kind of
Well, you know, when you first here as a freshman, you know, you kind of don't know your role yet. So, you know, I mean, I've always been, you know, kind of a vocal guy. I like to have fun with other players, but the leadership wasn't there when I first got here because, you know, we had great leaders already here. So, you know, I just wanted to lean back and follow them. But, you know, as I grew older, you know, that role as a leader begins to grow. So, you know, just as I got older, you know, I just continue to better my leadership skills and, you know, pull a lot of the younger guys along. You know, it's just a constant cycle here, and it's just a part of the culture that we built here, and it's a great culture.
Can you speak to first, the bond of brotherhood you have with the rest of the senior class that you guys have with each other, and then second, to the role of mentorship that senior class has for the underclassmen?
Yeah, well, a lot of the guys that I came in with are kind of gone. So, but like even those guys that are gone, man, I still talk to them. They still talk to the other players on the team. Like it's some players that haven't even met the players that were here last year, and you know we got a good relationship and stuff. And the seniors that are still here, you know, we always tight, man. You know, and we try to do a good job of leading those younger guys because we know they look up to us, and they know that we know what it takes to be able to win. So you know, they look to us for guidance, and you know, we trying to give it to them as much as possible because we want this program to succeed for a long time.
Hey Chris, earlier you talked about what the rivalry meant to like your coaches and stuff like that, but I wanted to ask what it meant to you as an individual. I mean, you're at Georgia Boy, it's an in-state rivalry. The other guys on the side of the ball at Tech that you kind of chitter-chatter before the game, yapping back and forth and stuff like that. So what does the rivalry mean to you?
Yeah, I got a few friends on the other side of the ball, great players, and like you say, man, it's just being in the state of Georgia. I've seen what this rivalry has meant from between Georgia and Georgia Tech for a very long time. And like I said, just going back to our coaches, they let us know like how deep the rivalry really goes. Because you know I've only been alive for 22 years. Some of our coaches are 40, 50 years old. So they let us know how important it is to the rest of our fan base and guys that have been alive for it to see this rivalry grow for a very long time. So it's important to me, but it's important to me because it's important to the people that back me while I'm out there on the field. So I want to be able to win for myself, the seniors, like I said, the rest of my teammates, and my coaches, man, especially Coach Smart, man. I know what this means to him, and I just want to figure out the regular season undefeated.
Chris, I don't know how often you guys get to do the good on good where you guys get to go up against Monken's offense. I'm sure in the off season or in scrimmages, but one of the things we've seen is how much freedom these quarterbacks have to change plays at the line of scrimmage. You've been on the other side of the ball when that happens. What would you say about Monken's scheme and Georgia's offensive flexibility at the line and what that does for defenses in terms of maybe challenging them?
Yeah, well, Monken, like I say, Monken does a great job with the scheme. He does a lot of good things with certain different players, putting good players in position to make a lot of big plays, using their skill sets to his advantage. And Stetson does a good job of making checks when needed and putting the offense in a good position. So, it definitely presents a tough challenge to a defense when the quarterback is able to make changes based on the coverage that you're in, So it's definitely a challenge.
Do most offenses do that much, or did you think your offense does a little bit more than that?
It depends on the scheme. I'd say probably about 50% of offenses have that system where, if they see you in a certain defense, they're going to be able to change. But we had the ability to change our defenses as well. So, we work on that a lot to try to be able to execute the game plan the best we can.
Chris, you've been with Kirby for 5 seasons, I guess. Is he always intense? Does he ever, have a time where he's kind of mellow? And why do you, is how driven he is? Does that rub off on you guys?
Well, number one, how driven he is definitely rubs off on us. It rubs off on the whole staff, and it's just a part of the culture that he's been able to build. He is an intense guy, but he's not intense all the time. He has moments, he'll joke around with you, especially when we out the field, and he a very fun, cool guy, but a lot of people, all they see is how intense he is, and he will get intense with you, and that just comes with a part of the game and the way he coaches, and it helps us succeed. But he cool. Yeah, he have a lot of cool moments. You'll be able to joke around with him, play with him, but it's time for that, and it's a time when it's time to be serious. And he does a good job of balancing that.
You mentioned a couple times the coaches haven't played in this rivalry. Who have you heard from the most as far as that goes? I mean, I know you spent a lot of time with Coach Muschamp, so maybe him. But what's kind of been the message about their experiences with Georgia Tech?
Oh, well, probably Coach Smart, because, he talks to the team, in front of the team a lot. And, he played in this rivalry for many 4 years, actually. And he just talks about what it means to him and what it means to the rest of, Coach Muschamp. We got Jonas Jennings on the staff. Coach Bobo played in this rivalry as well. So we just got a lot of coaches that have been able to experience this rivalry, and they know what it means to our fan base, and they know what it means to us,